Hey comic fans, Dave here at Ground Zero. It's Wednesday morning. That means it is time for your weekly look at what's new on the shelves at your favorite local comic book store. Now, they're always releasing one book or another and saying it's because you demanded it. But this is it, everybody. This is the week you demanded. Remember back in the 90s when you bought 25 or, 50 copies of Venom Lethal Protector #1. Did you ever think you would see a 200th issue of Venom? Yeah, I know, me neither. And yet, here we are. Thanks to the amazing principle of Marvel math, we get a 200th issue of a book that never had an issue 100. Thank you, Marvel. Your policy of math does what we tell it to continues to pay off handsomely with this extra size and extra priced issue that also happens to be Donny Cates' final issue of his really amazingly popular run, and it is chock full of spectacular revelations, including the symbiote has decided he's had enough of humanity, and so he bonds instead with a cucumber, bringing us Marvel's first anthropomorphic vegetable superhero, so take note of that, speculators, and set the stage for the big crossover launch of the Slaughters, where they bring together all of Marvel's vegetable heroes together in one book. Okay, look, I'm going to level with you people. I haven't actually read this book, so I kind of made that last part up. But let's face it, at this point, anything could happen. This is Schrodinger's Venom, so it could totally have a venomized cucumber in it, and because it's by Donny Cates, you would love it. So if by some chance this video gets to Donny Cates, all I can say is use your power for good. Either way, we get the mighty double, triple size issue at an extra size price of Venom with lots of extra variant covers because Marvel says, hey, if it's worth doing with a lot of extra covers. So either way, come in, select a couple of the best, and Venom 200. So this is the moment we've been waiting for. Also from Marvel, Alien #4, the 4th issue of this series, and another one I haven't actually read, so it could totally have a alien cucumber in it. I simply don't know. You'll have to read the book and find out. It does actually have green on the cover, so maybe that's a clue. Also from Marvel, Planet-Size X-Men. Probably no cucumbers in this book. Also, full disclosure, not actually planet-sized, but it does charge you an extra buck or two, so I guess that will have to make do. From Marvel and an artist that I really like, Peach Momoko, we get Demon Days Mariko. After this book doesn't sell off the new comic rack, I'll move it over to the other rack where it can sit right next to Demon Days X-Men, also by Peach Momoko, and also did not sell. So apparently I like her more than everybody else does, but either way, it's an artist that I really kind of enjoy. Speaking of books that I talk about not selling, I certainly talked several times about Heroes Reborn not selling, and then a really weird thing happened. It started selling. The most recent issues we've actually been out of pretty regularly, so apparently people decided far after the fact that they did like this book after all. So we're close to the end now. It's just an epilogue, heroes return to go, that kind of stuff. Will you buy it and trade when it comes out? I don't know, probably. Okay, moving over to DC, you might recognize this book from a couple of weeks ago, the Milestone Reloaded. Did really, really well. People actually gobbled this one up greedily and seemed very anxious to get more. And so this week we get more because we get the first issue of Static, the first hero to spin off in his own book. Out of this, he was actually really the breakout character from the Milestone universe that everybody continues to love to this day. So actually, this is a no-brainer. This is actually a book everybody's going to want. So Static, it's out. We also get Supergirl, Women of Tomorrow. This one, honestly, I am interested in for two big reasons. First off, it is written by Tom King. As you all know, I am a big fan of Tom King's writing. And second, it features crypto. So DC, come on, you had me at crypto. If you have an all crypto month, I would buy every book you released. Either way, crypto and Tom King is an absolutely unbeatable combination. So I'll be buying this. You should too. So, is it possible, you may be wondering, that we could have a week without Batman? DC says, absolutely not. Not as long as we are in power. So, submit again every week to Batman. This week we get Legends of the Dark Knight. Pretty sure it is cucumberless, but at some point it is inevitable because if Marvel does it, DC is going to too, and we will get the Bat Cucumber or however they decide to do it. So, James Tynion, take note. A couple more books I'll mention from Marvel, Catwoman and Nightwing. First off, Nightwing has absolutely really exploded in popularity. I'm sure I'll be selling out of this one for one thing. It's got a lot of cool red on the cover and a couple of striking revelations inside the book. Either way, Catwoman, Nightwing, they both have Batman in their speed dial, and that is enough for comic fans. Moving over to the indies, Ultra Mega. Now, I talked a lot about this book a couple of other times. It wasn't really one of my favorites, but this is the 4th issue. This is the issue where we finally slow down and go for a little character development. We kind of take a break, a pause, and really kind of find out who this character is and why he does what he does. And totally ignores the hyperviolence and all the other stuff that, had festered in the other 3 books. So actually, I'm totally kidding. This is just more of the same. No character development here, just splatter and gore and guts dripping off of each page because they know that is what you want. So I'll sell out this book like I have all the others. Thank you, Ultra Mega. May we have another. Moving over to Boom and more hyperviolence, Berserker. Now, this has been a really popular series, mostly because of the name Keanu Reeves. First issue, I believe, was the biggest selling independent book ever. I think mostly because people were trying to chase after those signed Keanu Reeves covers. Either way, not a lot of character development here either, just lots and lots and lots of violence. So if that's what you want and you don't need vowels, Berserker is your book. So will you still be buying it? I guess we'll find out. Over at Image, man, who would have thought back in the 90s that I would be saying Image has actually become one of my favorite companies? But here we are, and they are. And 2 books that have quietly really built good, solid audiences. First off, Silver Coin, and second, Radiant Black from Kyle Higgins. These are books that have done really well, and they're doing it the right way, starting off kind of slow, but building new readers with each successive book, instead of a big launch and everybody buys the first one, and then they disappear. So kudos to Image for actually reversing that trend. I hope you can continue. One final book and company that I will mention, at least as far as floppies go, Visitor from Valiant. They want to remind you they're still around. So every so often they release another book and people go, wow, Valiant is still around. So you keep going, Valiant. Keep being around and give us some Bloodshot and XO and some of the other stuff too. So either way, they're here and hopefully they'll keep me here. Trades. I have a few trades to mention because boy did I get in trouble one time when I didn't mention trades. We will start off with a much anticipated manga release, a hardcover of Fist of the North Star. This is a super violent book, but it's done in glorious black and white with the occasional red, and yet they don't call it Fist of the North Star black, white, and red because they don't have to. Take that, Marvel and DC. Either way, it's out in hardcover, so if you're a manga fan, this is one you want. Also a book that kind of snuck up on me by the name of Jim Lives. This explores the mystery that I didn't know there was a mystery about the death of Jim Morrison. It's got pretty art, actually. Normally these rock biographies and things like that have kind of mediocre art. This one actually looks pretty cool. So even though I'm really not a Doors fan, I might actually give this one a try. Okay, since we started off mentioning Donny Cates, I will mention that the second collection of his run on Thor is in. Donny Cates just seems to be money in the bank these days. Everybody loves his writing wherever it may be it at Image or Marvel. So Thor, you want it. 3 more books I shall mention. First off is Unnatural Disasters, a mighty Godzilla collection that puts together several earlier ones that have been kind of out of print. Rage Across Time, Godzilla in Hell, all here in this really big honking nuclear-sized book. So, if you're a Godzilla fan, and let's face it, who isn't a Godzilla fan, buy this book, or he'll have to come to your town, and you don't want that. Two more from DC. Deceased, Hope at World's End. I don't know anything about this book because it is shrink wrapped and I did not read it actually when it came out, so it may totally have zombie cucumbers in it, and probably does. We'll just say, yeah, sure, it has zombie cucumbers in it, so if you want more cucumber goodness, this is the book to pick up, I think. No guarantees because it's shrink wrapped. Final book that is not shrink wrapped, so I've already checked, no cucumbers in this one, and that is the next Batman. Yeah, this character hasn't been around very long and already has built a really good following. This is a pretty thick book, so if you haven't had a chance to read his stuff yet, he's pretty popular, really. So give him a chance because he does have the word Batman in his title. And as far as DC is concerned, that is all you really need. Folks, that's it. With luck, I'm going to keep this under 10 minutes, and I certainly need to do that because every time I am under 10 minutes, I get a cookie. So we will just leave it with the usual, folks. We hope you have a great day. We hope you stay safe. And remember, it's not about having what you want. It's about wanting what you have. Folks, we'll see you at the local comic shop. Have a great day.